Welcome back to another exciting episode of Quantum of Vibes. If you're new to this channel, you have just joined in to listen about how I travel the world in 45 days, visiting 10 countries all by myself. Yes, I did that. It's Quantum of Vibes. 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 Now we're leaving Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to go all the way to Seoul, Korea. Ahnnyeonhaseyooo! I am so excited to be going to this country at this point, honestly, and I just couldn't wait to get there. So finally, I arrive, I go and I get my luggage. So I just quickly pulled out my Uber app and I called an Uber, and then it took me all the way to my hotel in Myeongdong-po. So that's where I stayed the whole time. Now, when I was dropped off at the hotel, I spied with my little brown eyes a 7-Eleven. And I was thinking, absolutely. You see in the K-dramas that they go to 7-Eleven sometimes, and I'm thinking, sure, I shall visit the 7-Eleven. I prioritized taking a shower first, and then I go to my room. I went through the shower, took a very warm shower, scrubbed myself, and yeah, I do have patience, right? After my shower, I went straight down to go to the 7-Eleven. At this point, it was a bit late, honestly. I only went there, got some noodles, and I got some shrimp or prawn crackers. I do enjoy those types of snacks. So once I got back to my hotel, I made myself some noodles and then I ate that. So I was just thinking something little to carry me through the night. So after I ate that, the next day, when I woke up, it was finally laundry day. I packed my things in my little suitcase, and come to find out, the laundry was just about a block away from the hotel, and you just pay with your card and then you're able to watch. So I'm wheeling my suitcase and I'm thinking, oh, it's a beautiful day in Seoul. I can't wait to accidentally bump into somebody. I want to meet a Korean. I'm so excited. All of these things, all of that. So I go to this laundry, and then there's this guy in there. And I come in and I'm like, okay, so what do? I'm looking for the instructions. I am literally the epitome of damsel in distress, honestly. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. I was acting it out a little bit. Let's be honest. And he's like, oh, do you need help? Do you know how to use it? And I was like, oh, 안녕하세요, 감사합니다. And it's like, oh, so come to find out, he's actually Canadian, Korean. So he was actually traveling for business, and we exchanged numbers. He was done washing his clothes, and he said if I needed any help, I can call him or text him, and he'll be more than happy to support. I also did find out that he was staying in the same hotel as I was, so that was cool. And I was just thinking, yes, I've made a Korean friend. All I wanted to do was just have an army of Korean friends that I could just have for myself, you know? That's all I was going for. And after I was done, I messaged him and I thanked him and I said I was good. And then at that time, he had already left for dinner. So I was just thinking, oh, I'll just have dinner by myself then, which was fine. That was the plan anyway. So after I was done washing my clothes, I sent them back up to my room. And then while I was walking, so within the block of where I walked to the laundry and back to the hotel, I saw that there was this barbecue place. And I was just thinking, oh, sure, I'm just going to eat that for dinner. So after I finished my laundry, I took a shower, I got dressed up, and then I went to the barbecue place to get myself some barbecue. That was so nice. I don't know if it's because I was traveling by myself or I went to eat by myself, but they actually made the barbecue for me. So it's one of those cook your own food kind of thing. They give you the raw meat and then you just kind of grill it yourself. So they ended up grilling the food for me, which I was grateful for, honestly. And I just had a hearty meal with my side dishes and my meat, and I was like, I love this, tasty. And after that, I just took a little walk around. The next day, I had a tour planned. So I wanted to just kind of map out the area, just like I did in Greece, wanting to map out the Acropolis, knowing where things are. I did similar in South Korea. So the next day, bright and early, I wake up and I get ready because I was going to do the DMZ tour, and it was going to start super early and end like maybe mid-afternoon. So I needed to be out there early. Now I go to the station. I'm trying to go through to take the train, to take the bus, to be able to get there. I've already screenshotted all of the steps that I need. Then I found out that I needed to buy a ticket. So once I was there and I was looking at the station, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, if I have to buy a ticket, I do have a card. And I should explain this. So basically, I'm a cashless person. I don't like to travel with cash. I would rather pay with my card, and then I'll just pay it through my bank, pay off the card. So I never once thought that I would need physical cash. So what I did was I tried to use my card to pay for the train ticket. To my surprise, I wasn't able to do it. I tried to get help. They said, well, you do need to have cash to buy the transportation card. So now I had to quickly come out of the train station and call a taxi. And even with a taxi, they also take cash. So once I found that out, I was like, well, I can't take a taxi. But if you will remember, I took an Uber from the airport to get to the hotel. So then I went onto my phone app and I called an Uber. So very quickly, I called the tour company and I told them, hey, I didn't know that I needed cash to take transportation, and because of that, I am running late. So they told me to meet them elsewhere. So I told them I was coming from Yeongdeungpo, and instead of me going to Myeongdong to meet them, they had me meet them elsewhere, which I was very grateful for because it was closer. And I was like, thank you, God, because I didn't want to miss this tour. I was so excited to do it. So I finally got there, and I was a bit frantic because, well, I'm not typically like a nervous person, I would say, but I was just wondering, where's my tour bus? Because so many other tour companies were there picking people for different trips, and I was thinking, I hope I don't get on the wrong bus. So I'll just keep asking, because they told me the name of the tour guide that I should look for. So I'll just keep asking, is that you? Is that you? Is that you? And I finally found the tour company. It came and then it picked me up, and we were on our way. So the tour that I did was the DMZ coupled with the Mount Gamak suspension bridge. Now, once we got on the tour bus, we're given the orientation and told that, we should be prepared to walk. Yeah, it's gonna be hilly. So I was like, cool, it's fine. I mean, I just did the Acropolis, so I'm feeling very athletic, because if I could do the Acropolis, I think I could do anything, right? Well, I was partially right. So when we finally got to the suspension bridge on Mount Gamak, I got down and I was in the front when we started this journey. Needless to say, by the time we got to the bridge, I was way at the back and they waited for me. So when I got to the bridge, I was able to cross it and cross it back. There was also another part of the area that we're supposed to go check out. So everybody had crossed the bridge and back to go check out that second spot. And by the time I came back, I was just thinking, I need to start that trip downhill, because if I still go up there, then they're gonna have to wait forever for me to get back down. So I started the journey, and guess what? I was still the last to finish, because these hills, they are no joke. Like when you're descending, yeah, it's a whole nother animal. So DMZ tour, you have to bring your passport along when you're going to the tour, because there's a possibility that you'll be going to North Korea, and also the passport is your form of identity. Prior to us getting to the DMZ, we stopped at a place, I barely recall the name, but that is also a monumental place because they have all these history artifacts and all these things that you can learn about. And we were told to just walk around. It was quite intriguing. And there was a place where we saw a destroyed train. And apparently, South Korea has been doing multiple outreaches to the north to be able to bring about peace. And one of the things that the tour guide shared with us was her personal family story. Basically, when the war happened, wherever you were, during that time, you were just stuck there. So literally the war happened and then the country was divided. So there was a lot of family members that were stuck on either side of, the country. And I understand from the tour guide that many years ago, they tried to do this reconciliation thing where they would get like North Koreans to be, to meet their family that they left behind. And my tour guide was sharing her personal story where they were finally able to meet her uncle, but then her uncle didn't want to come back, and they felt like he had kind of joined the political side because then he had a good job, and the understanding is, and if they're lying, I'm lying, the understanding is if they are more on the political side, their prospects are better. So he was doing well for himself. He was already married. This was his grandma's son, the youngest son. He actually got separated during the war. And there were so many other stories like that in Korea. And this actually only happened 70 years ago. So it's more in the recent past. It's not been a long time since there was this division. And from my understanding, South Korea has been doing a lot of outreach, trying to bridge that gap. And fun fact that I learned is Hyundai. So I say it this way because Hyun means brother in Korea. Okay, learned it from my K-drama series. So Hyun is brother. So Hyundai, the guy that did it, actually is from North Korea. So meaning his family was found on the north side when the war happened. But then he left North Korea. He was able to run away. He was one of the very few people that were successful in leaving North Korea to South. And once he became successful with his company, he sent multiple cows in a Hyundai to cross the bridge over to the north. So they showed us the bridge where he crossed over, and he was welcomed with open arms by North Korean presidents, not the current one, but then his dad. He was welcomed, and they celebrate him till today as the North Korean celebrity. But there are not many instances where people are able to cross over. So for our tour, we were able to explore the third tunnel of the DMZ. And the story behind this is there's multiple tunnels that North Korea has tried to infiltrate South Korea with. And I'm going to just pause here and say that this is just based off of what I learned. I haven't done further research, so go pursue your own research. But I just found this story intriguing. Also because I feel very fond of South Korea. I enjoy the culture and I love their food, and I really want to assimilate into their culture. So whatever the case, they had tried multiple times to infiltrate South Korea. So then they would be digging these tunnels to try to come in and then invade South Korea. So South Korea found those tunnels. So the third tunnel is the one that we visited. Now, when you go there, your phones are not allowed, okay? You're not allowed to bring your phones. You lock them in a locker and then you descend. Now, what they did in South Korea was pave the way down. So you have to descend a long tunnel before you get to the start of the cave. Now, once you get to the cave and you want to walk to the part where North Korea is, you have to go through almost this like crowded area. I don't know if I can put photos on here, but you have to experience it to see it. You go through this tunnel, so you have to duck. If you're a tall person, you definitely have to be ducking the whole time. And once you get there, they've literally just blocked off the area. So then you're able to, from a distance, see a hole. And you see a lot of algae there, like behind the wall. Now, the idea is that literally behind that, path is North Korea. And that's how they try to get in. So the walk from the bottom of the descent to the cave, through the tunnel, very easy walk. But to come up and come out of the tunnel, that is the most difficult part. They already know this, so they have chairs, like benches on the side, so you can rest. Boy, oh boy, it took me a while to come up. And then also after you come out, there's like stuff around and, photo props. I was able to stand somewhere. I showed like as if I was in both countries. And then after that, that wasn't enough. We were sent to this area. Now, there's like a small village around the DMZ area. And back in the day, they paid a group of settlers to go live there. And they're the only ones that are allowed to live there. I think now it's closed. Nobody else can go live there. You have to all get permission to go live there, I guess. But then they have this self-sustainable community. Basically, they have a community center where they all eat together. They have very good products. I believe they have good ginseng. So if you're a K-drama fanatic, you know what ginseng is, the root herb. So they have that, and you could purchase that. There's certain things that you can only buy there. And then there's also an Ahnnyeonhaseyooo over there. You know how K-beauty is known in the space and all of that. That Ahnnyeonhaseyooo has some products that you can only purchase over there. And they have some very unique products too. But at the point, I was just thinking, I still have other countries to hit. My suitcases were full, so I wasn't really thinking about purchasing any more new items over there. But if I ever decide to go back to the DMZ, now it was a hectic climb and all of those things. I probably would just go to that village to be able to purchase certain things and kind of feel connected to that community a little bit more. But before we went to go eat in their canteen, we were able to go up a hill to an observatory where you can see with binoculars North Korea. So we weren't allowed to get closer because there was an incident at the time that I was visiting. So we only could observe from the observatory. And after that, they took us to the canteen. We ate some food. And for those that wanted to do some shopping, they went ahead to do shopping. Then we were bussed all the way back to Seoul. It was such an enlightening journey, and I truly learned a lot. I am super grateful that I had the opportunity to learn the history. All these years that I have been South Korean fanatic, I didn't know the history, but learning the history actually made me feel closer to the country, and I appreciated doing this tour. I had never heard of DMZ tour, demilitarized zone tour, before I did this, so I was literally just looking at the tour options and I just chose it. So I'm lucky and I feel blessed that I was able to learn this. Now for the evening, I was thinking, let me not waste any days here. I booked myself a Painters live show, K-pop show. So then, even though I was so exhausted with all the climbs, I wish I had done the painter show a different day. At the same time, I'm glad I did it when I did it. So when I got back to my hotel, I quickly took a short nap and then I took a shower before I went to see this Painters Live K-pop show. Now, this Painters Live K-pop show, it's literally dancers that are painting and dancing at the same time. So they're using a lot of glow and effects. And I thought it was really nice, except that I wasn't able to fully enjoy it because I was so tired. I also didn't want to skip it because I had already spent money to do it. I am not wasteful, you guys. Like, if I've spent the money, I'm going to show up there. But yeah, I was able to go to that. Then I took another Uber back home. Then I rested. So that is all I did for day 29. Now, Korea was my longest stay. So I'm going to just take my time to unpack the history, the stories, everything to you. I don't want us to feel rushed. So I'm going to end today's video here. And the next day when we come back, we will be at day 30. 30 is my favorite number. So I'm going to wait and save that for the next video. Now, thank you so much if you've watched up to this point. And thank you all for your huge support. 감사합니다. 감사합니다. Thank you so much. And make sure you like, you comment, share with your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube. 감사합니다. 안녕하세요. 안녕. Bye.